I do have Gary Keane with me in studio now. Gary, how's it going?
Great, fantastic. Delighted to be here.
Now, obviously, you're the main man for the band. What was a band? It's called Like a Fire. You're the lead guitarist. You lead
Yeah.
everything, really, aren't you?
Yeah, yeah. I'm greedy, you see. Yeah, well, I suppose Like a Fire. Yeah, it started off as a band, but I suppose everyone's got lots of commitments going on now at the minute. So I'm just kind of powering through it myself at the minute. So I suppose Like a Fire is me in essence. So yeah, I'll have to start making my friends call me Like a Fire now.
And where did the name come from?
It came from a quote. You know, it's funny when you're looking for a band name. It's a really important thing, and you can be racking your brains for ages because you don't really know what you want. Something that'll sum up something. That'll sum up what you feel the music is about. And I went looking on quotes on the internet. I said, "Feck it, I'll have a look at a few quotes." And there was one by a woman called Maya Angelou. She's kind of famous with her, I suppose, philosophies and stuff. And it was a quote that said. Bitterness is like a cancer, it eats the host, but anger is like a fire, it burns all clean. And that was something that really resonated with me, I suppose, personally, because I was thinking, when it comes to life, and especially being a musician, it can be quite a turbulent sort of, I don't know, a lifestyle, and you can kind of sit around and be bitter and feel that, you're not doing what you should be, or you can just get angry. And I suppose, I mean angry in the positive sense, you can get kind of passionate, like, and I think if you're passionate about what you do and you have that kind of weight behind it, then there'll never be any room, or there shouldn't be any room for bitterness. So for me, that was kind of something that would, kind of make me want to believe in.
And has music always been something that's been a part of you?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, ever since I was a kid, I remember when I was younger, we had. Do you remember the 2-track cassette recorders? And you could. I remember my first ever recording experience. I was at home and I had a blank tape and I was doing in the jungle, a wimba a wimba a wimba. So I recorded that, and then I figured out. I'll never forget the day I figured out. I was like, if I played cassette tape deck A back and put B into record, then I can overdub myself. So I had like a wimbo, I would play, and then I had like wee dee 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 dee, and then I remember listening to myself back with the two voices going back, and then I could swap tape. And so I literally had a limitless like multi-track recorder, and I remember running on to my mother and be like, check this out, and I pressed play and she was like, how in the name of God did you get your voice on twice? I was like, yeah. So yeah, I suppose, yeah, that was my very first, but I've always been fascinated by music. I love it. It's always been a part of my life. I mean, I've always been banging something. I'm always into rhythms. I was, even from a young age, when they had me playing the tin whistle when you're a young fella in school, everyone hated it, and I just loved it. I don't know what it was. I was fascinated by it, that you can do something and it'll make a sound, and by manipulating your fingers, it'll, change the way it is. So yeah, I've always been, it's always been a massive part of my life.
You always went on. You actually studied music as well.
Yeah, Jesus, I couldn't wait to get into Stefan Nefe. I remember being my leaving cert year of school, and I suppose, you kind of. When you're in secondary school, there comes a point, and maybe up until third year, you're like, yeah, look, I just have to be doing this. And then I think when I saw the light at the end of the tunnel, that I knew there was something beyond that. I just couldn't wait to get out of there. Not because there's anything bad about it. I loved school, but, I don't know, you just kind of feel like I just knew what I wanted to do. And I was like, oh, I'm in fifth year now, I have 2 more years I have to waste now, And went to Stefan Nefe in Cork, and, it was where I was meant to be. It was an amazing place, really, really nurturing environment for any kind of musician that wants to get involved. In not so much the academic side of it, because, I could have went to UCC and done music, but I knew that I wanted more than that. I wanted something that was kind of all-encompassing where it comes to performance, songwriting, management, know what it's like to be industry in like a pop sense, rock, stuff like that, and not necessarily just be a music teacher or part of an orchestra or something that's a little bit more kind of inclined towards a specific genre of music. Went to CSN and did 3 years there, best 3 years of my life. It was really amazing.
And how much did that help you in your own music career?
Massively. It's funny because you don't really know what to expect from it. I suppose for me, music isn't the thing that you're qualified in. You get a job and you're a musician now and that's it, It's not like that at all. But for me, it just put my head in the game and got me used to a lot of, I suppose, the general operations of music. It puts your head in the game with terminology. What is it to write a song? I had written songs, but I didn't know what I was doing, So it just even teaches you formalities like this is a verse, this is a chorus, this is a general form of a pop song. Okay, now I have a pop song written, or I have any kind of a song written. What are the implications legally? What are the roles of people in music? And the most amazing thing for me in CSN was they gave me access to a recording studio. So I was harping back to my 2-track tape recorder, and all of a sudden I was sitting in front of a desk with loads of fucking, I had Pro Tools and everything going on. So I was like a kid in the candy shop, and it was great over the summer. They just let me come and go as I pleased, so yeah, it was amazing. It taught me, an invaluable amount of information about music. And the biggest thing about it, I think, is the contacts you make. It's almost like a little sorority, It's like, oh, you went to CSN. So you went to CSN yourself. You did radio, didn't
Of
you?
course I did, yeah.
All of a sudden, it was like, yeah, CSN. So you make amazing contacts, and they're contacts that will stay with you, into your later years. And I think people will always kind of have, they'll always have a little bit of recognition when they meet someone who's been from CSN as well, because it is quite a close-knit place.
Describe your own genre for me, please.
Well, it definitely is. It definitely is pop. It definitely is rock, but it definitely has a lot of R&B. I love R&B. I love soul. I love, I suppose the best way I describe it is drums-wise, it's kind of rock-sounding drums, but the beats are very R&B. They're kind of angular. They've got groove. They're not like rock drums are generally quite just I like with R&B and stuff. I prefer stuff that has a bit more of a groove to it, so it definitely has a backbeat like that. But then I'm a big fan of like rock guitars, that big U2 kind of sound, so it's hard to describe. But I'd always call it pop rock R&B. That's kind of what it is, really.
And you've also got quite a mixture of influences, don't you?
Yeah, my influences are quite they're a bit bipolar, a bit schizophrenic. I listen to everything, and I know everyone says that, but I was brought up. I was brought up listening to like old time jazz and swing and stuff. My father was in a jazz band, and I was, I suppose I got a thirst for kind of big sounds, big rhythm sections, big brass, and then I listened to a lot of trad music. Then I was in a metal band when I was a young fella. I was mad into metal. Then obviously by way of bands like Rage Against the Machine, I got kind of more inclined towards hip hop, rock, everything. I love Latin music. A dream of mine always has been to go to Havana, Cuba, and see the likes of the Afro-Cuban All-Stars or any of them, playing a lot of that ethnic music. So yeah, it's very vast and varied.
And obviously you were involved with Cork Rocks bands.
Yeah.
And you were playing last night at Cork Rocks for Abbey, weren't you?
Yes, that was amazing. Amazing experience, I mean, it's such a noble and worthy cause, and you could just see it, in the place there last night. The atmosphere was electric, and you get to see so many amazing bands. And for me, yeah, it was great. I was playing at midnight, so it was pretty crazy. But, I can't speak good enough for the work that Cork Rocks does, for musicians and for everyone alike. So it's something that I look forward to doing again in the future, definitely.
And we will have a special programme during the week from Cork Rocks for Abbey. He's got to go and put them all together first with all those recordings.
Yeah,
quite
enjoy that, yeah. That's where your CSN expertise will be coming in now.
Exactly. Now finally, what does the future hold, I should say, for you?
Okay, so I have an EP finished. It's mastered, it's mixed, everything's going. So I haven't a release date yet for that. I want to put it out in the new year. It's going to be called Veni Vidi Vici, which I was talking to you earlier. It's basically a name I got from a ring. I wear a ring on my finger, and I've worn it since I was 12 years old. And yeah, it says Veni Vidi Vici. I'm sure you all know what it means. It's I came, I saw, I conquered, and that's what Julius Caesar said when he conquered Rome. And for me, it's always been a little bit of a motto in life. I want to make sure I seize everything and I can conquer my own personal goals, and and I'd like to be able to, when I reach the time that I'm leaving this life, that I can look back and really say that I kind of honoured that message. So yeah, I've got that EP coming out, and I'm just gigging non-stop all the time. If you keep an eye on my website, likeafiremusic.com, it's constantly updated with everything that's going on. And yeah, just keep slogging it, keep doing it, and hope that the EP will reach as many people as possible.
I want to ask you about the X Factor now. If Simon Coe and Co were to come to town tomorrow, would you get on? Would you try out?
Yeah, that's a weird one. I've been asked that before, and I think the honest answer is no. There's just this obsession with kind of getting success, sort of really fast, and I think it always comes at a price. If something sounds too good to be true, it probably is too good to be true. That's not saying, for a second that people that are on X Factor, don't work hard. But there's just something about it that I feel like, it's people that go on it are quite disposable, and they become kind of trash after a while. And I mean that with respect, in the sense that, you see a lot of people that go on it, and even people that win it. I'll give you a prime example, Matt Cardle. I was watching it that year, and I was blown away by that guy. I mean, I'd never heard a voice like that in my life, and I was like, I cannot wait for this guy to put out his stuff, because I'm going to be a number one fan. He was amazing. And yeah, he was just kind of at the whim of the record company, and they put out a song of his that I thought was really crap, and and I don't know, a lot of people must have as well, because he just kind of fell from grace then, And then you look at One Direction, who were kind of third, and then now they've taken over the world, like. But it's funny because I think, a lot of people go on X Factor and they're not kind of artists, and I don't mean that really hoity-toity, but I think some people go on and they're just singers and they don't really know who they are, and they don't know what kind of a person they are, and they haven't taken the time to allow themselves to nurture and culminate who they are as an artist, And what happens then is they're put in a board with A&R people who decide then, okay, you're going to be this kind of an artist, and sometimes the shoe doesn't always fit. So yeah, I suppose the honest answer is I don't think so. I don't think I would. There's something about this kind of like, you're put up in front of everyone, you're judged, and that's not what music's about, It's about kind of having something to say and saying it, and then if people like it, great, and if they don't, well, that's fine too as well. But I don't know, there's just this kind of, it's this kind of flaunting, and it's like, you're just kind of put up there as a spectacle, I mean, I don't know, were you watching this year's X Factor? They have people up and they're all sitting in a seat, and then a judge can decide and go, well, no, actually, no, you're going. I was watching, I was like, this is really cruel, like, I mean, there's people here, and this is their dream, this is what they've always wanted, and all of a sudden they're humiliated in front of the entire country and all their friends and family, and there's just something about that makes it really uncomfortable. I think it's kind of hijacked music a little bit. Do I watch it? It's the odd time I do. So, I mean, I'm definitely contributing to it somehow, but you just kind of have to look at it for what it is. It's entertainment, and
it is, yeah.
The problem is I'm not willing to put myself as sort of a willing participant in something that could potentially really be damaging, to your career as a musician, to you as a person or whatever else. So that's a very long answer to kind of go, no, with respect.
Right. Can you give me your worst moment as a musician?
Oh my God, worst moment. I won't say there's so many worst moments. There's a lot of moments where you're standing around, you're kind of going, why am I doing this? I suppose I can't think of any in particular, but you kind of put so much into stuff, and like you try and keep an air of sort of professionalism, and sometimes you turn up at gigs and it's like, man, you haven't even got a microphone, or you didn't even provide anything, or people don't, like, I've done so many gigs where you show up in your promised world, and you go there. Oh, I remember one gig actually. Yeah, this was pretty bad. I was playing in a bar in Kerry, and a guy booked me, and he was like, yeah, we're going to be doing this and it's going to be awesome. And I remember I was playing there, and there was literally no one in the bar. Now I'm talking about no one except the bar person. And I was playing right in front of a pool table. Like, I was literally 2 inches back from a pool table, and a couple of guys came in, just normal kind of working guys came in, and were just playing pool, and I was singing all my tunes, and they weren't even paying attention. You finish the song and you could just hear the balls being potted and stuff, and I was like, this is pretty bad. But look, I'm a firm believer, you just have to earn your stripes, you have to put in the graft, and I think hopefully you'll be rewarded someday with all your hard work. You just never know what can happen, and I'd rather just keep doing it and die trying than give up, And
I suppose you'd learn a lot from those kind of experiences too, wouldn't you?
You would. And I mean, look, feck it. I mean, you just do them and you get on with it. You don't go walking around like a prima donna and be like, well, I should be. Like, you have to earn everything you get. And I can't think of. You look at any successful musician and they all have horror stories, and I just say, well, look, that's you putting your time in, and you do learn a lot. A lot of the time you learn, well, I'm not going back there ever again. But there's a lot to be said in that as well,
And in contrast, what's your best moment as a musician?
Oh, yeah. I actually just recently won a competition for the Rose of Tralee on the main stage just this past August. And that was a really beautiful moment for me. I remember just, it's one of those moments you stop and you look around and you go, like, really don't let this pass you by, because these are the moments that you really relish. And I remember, it was a competition called Access All Areas. And it was organised by the Rose of Tralee Festival, pretty much. And you compete. And I remember all my family were there. And for me, I felt great, because I felt like, I was finally able to do something that would make my family proud. They were able to tell their friends then. And I don't know, it was a really special moment for me. And they announced my name as the winner. And it was just a surreal moment. And I remember I went backstage afterwards. And just as I had, been announced as the winner, I got all these prizes or whatever, they had put on this fireworks show behind. And there was a plane going across the sky with fireworks coming out of the wing of it. And I was like, it really doesn't get any more cooler than this. Like, I've just won this competition, there's a plane with fireworks coming out of it, and there are those magic moments. They'll pass you by if you don't stop. And I remember I was just sitting, I was like, I need to stop now and really just relish this now,
Take
this in, because you will just as easily go, oh yeah, and talk to someone else, and that was a really cool moment for me. Another great moment was I did a tour of Canada last October, so just a year ago pretty much, and that was cool as well, because finally I was like, oh my god, I'm a musician and I'm playing outside. And I don't know, when someone claps you and you're in a different country, it's like you just feel like wow, because a lot of the time, you know, Ireland's so small, a lot of it's like friends and family most of the time, and I don't know, when you're in a foreign country and people were going mad, and that was a cool moment as well, you know, it was really good.
And what was the tour of Canada like?
Oh, that was amazing. Yeah, I did 10 days. I was asked over there for a thing called Indie Week. They put it on as a showcase once a year, and I went over there with Stephanie Rainey, and we did gigs together. I played on her stuff, she played on mine, and yeah, we did a tour of Toronto basically, but it was all organised by this festival, who obviously are Canada based. And that was just the coolest experience ever. It took it out of me though, because you're gigging and then you have to go partying with everyone. It's like, oh, you're Irish, man, come on. And then you're waking up and you've all meetings and seminars the next day, and it was just, but you know, it was cool. You feel kind of patriotic as well. You're in Canada flying the flag for Ireland, you know.
Right, you're going to sing a track for me now. It's called Out of Sight. You wrote it yourself. Tell me about it.
Yeah. So yeah, this song is called Out of Sight. It's going to be on the EP called Veni Vidi Vici. So this is a tune I wrote, I suppose, with the same sentiment as I was talking about with, you know, I came, I saw, I conquered. This is a song I wrote about. You know, I didn't want to get stuck, lost in kind of, you know, a land of complacency where I didn't have the courage or I didn't have the drive to get up and do what I wanted to, you know. And out of sight, I suppose, for me, is I just didn't want to be out of people's sights. I didn't want to be out of my own sight. And for me, this is kind of my sort of just angsty kind of proclamation that I'm now going to just get out there and do it. And I suppose for me, it's sort of, it's just kind of an anthem for that. And I think, you know, it's something that a lot of people can relate to, that you just need to get up there and get out. And, you know, you just have one life, and we'll all be dead at some stage. So you may as well grasp it while you can, you know.
Very, very true. So, Gary, whenever you're ready, this is a track by Gary Keane called Out of Sight.
Cool. 2-2. As a young man growing old, never know how life unfolds. I walk alone, never living for the day. Whatever the future throws my way, I'll never know. And oh, will I last live in this life, never showing what I know I got inside, yeah. And oh, how it cuts me like a knife when I'm letting go of what I know I need. Oh, and oh, this is the last time you see me out of sight. All those years I left behind, only fragments of my mind, forever gone. Days that fall away like rain, never leave a lasting stain. So for now, I must carry on. And oh, will I last live in this life, never showing what I know I got inside, yeah. And oh, how it cuts me like a knife when I'm letting go of what I know I need. Oh, and oh, this is the last time you see me out of sight. Lord knows it takes a lot to break a man, but this is where I am. Hope grows from makings of another plan for idle hands. Will I last live in this life? Never showing what I know I got inside. No, and oh, this is the last time you see me out of sight. No, 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 no. You see me out of. You see me out of. No. Oh, oh, oh. No. 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 You see me out of sight. No, no, no. You see me out of